Hello friends, Tom Downey here for NFL Daily, taking you through all of the latest Cleveland Browns rumors. First up, all right, is Kendricks going to Cleveland here? What is exactly going on? We're going to give it two heads for now, but it's been a very confusing past couple hours for Browns fans and Kendricks fans and so on. So here's what happened. So Ian Rappaport comes out and says Kendricks to Cleveland on a one-year deal. It was then confirmed, in air quotes, by Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. And then Kendricks got a little angsty on Twitter and tweeted out at Rappaport and said, "I will never respect you," and spoke to a Minneapolis St. Paul writer and said, "I have not made my decision." And then his agent comes out and said, "No decision has been made yet." So now we're left with a little bit of a waiting game. The Browns are still the favorite to land Mychal Kendricks, but as of right now, he has not agreed to a deal with any team. He visited the Vikings, the Browns, and the Raiders this week. And although the Browns are still the quote-unquote favorites to land Kendricks, doesn't sound like he's going to be a locked-in guy quite yet. So I would not be surprised if Kendricks did go to Cleveland, but as of right now, he hasn't made a decision, even though the Browns are still considered the front-runners to land Kendricks. And frankly, I am at least a little bit surprised by the desire for Kendricks to go to Cleveland. You look at what the Browns have depth chart-wise at linebacker, I think they're in pretty good shape. I don't think they really need another linebacker. You got Joe Scherber, Christian Kirksey, Jamie Collins, who we'll mention here in a little bit, coming back from injury. I like Jannard Avery quite a bit. You know, James Burgess made some nice plays for them last year. Jermaine Grace is going to be a backup guy, B.J. Bello, and so on. But they weren't in desperate need of a linebacker. If they get Kendricks, maybe you see someone get shopped potentially. So, folks, let me know where you think Kendricks will sign, if it's Cleveland or somewhere else in the comment section. All right, we mentioned Collins. Back to him now. Will he be back for minicamp? I'm going to give this one 3 heads, kind of more like 2.5, but we rounded up for this one. So Collins is getting closer to being back. He tore his MCL in November of last year and has done individual drills on the side during OTAs, and that's a very positive sign. Hugh Jackson says he will be back for training camp. He's hopeful for minicamp. Based on where we sit right now, I think he might just be back in time, or at least near the end of it, which is a good thing for Cleveland. He brings a little bit of extra boost in the pass rush at that strong side linebacker spot. One more defensive note here. Could Denzel Ward win Defensive Rookie of the Year? I'm going to give it 2 heads, but it is very much a possibility. And Ward has looked really good at OTAs, and as of right now, he has tied for the 3rd best odds to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, there's still no guarantee he'll start in Week 1 for Cleveland, but Ward has looked very, very good thus far in OTAs against Josh Gordon, against others. Here are the odds, by the way, for Defensive Rookie of the Year. 7-5 for Bradley Chubb, then it's Roquan Smith, and then Denzel Ward tied with Minka Fitzpatrick a little bit further down the line. Let's move to offense now. Quarterback, our teammates drawn to Baker Mayfield. Yeah, 4 heads. This should not be a surprise. It's Baker Mayfield. This is one of the biggest positive glowing things about him coming out before the NFL draft. Reports that the Browns are blown away by what they've seen for Baker, and particularly how teammates are gravitating toward him. The report is that they've never seen teammates gravitate to someone like this. So good news there for Baker Mayfield on that end. There's still no guarantee that Mayfield will be your starter in Week 1. That brings us, of course, to our next rumor. Mayfield won't start at quarterback. I'm still going to give this one 3 heads. I do think it's pretty likely, but it's not set in stone. Maybe Tyrod sucks in the preseason, or Baker looks like a true god in the preseason, or there's an injury. But as of right now, Baker is still working with the 3rd team during OTAs behind Tyrod Taylor and behind Drew Stanton. The Browns will not rush Baker Mayfield. That's their current depth chart. Don't worry about Brogan Roback out of Eastern Michigan. He's not going to be an option for the Browns long term. But I want to know from you guys, when should the Browns make Baker Mayfield the starting quarterback? I thought he was the most pro-ready of any quarterback, including Josh Rosen, because I think he's so accurate. Now, he's going along in OTAs. They're bringing him along slowly. Still has to adjust to playing under center quite a bit, which is kind of why there is some work to be done there in terms of pro readiness. But as soon as Baker's ready, I like Tyrod Taylor a lot as a player, but he is not the long-term option. That's Baker Mayfield. Once he's good to go, make him into your starting quarterback. And one final rumor here on the offensive side is Shon Coleman going to start at left tackle. 2 heads on this one. It's still a little 50-50. He is getting most of the first-team reps at left tackle, but there's no guarantee that will stay the case. Austin Corbett is getting some as well. Now, Coleman, he wasn't great at right tackle last year for the Browns. He had some ups and downs and quite a few downs as well. But he had a lot of left tackle reps during practice because Joe Thomas didn't need them. He was old. He didn't need the reps. He's Joe Thomas. No problem there. So Corbett is getting some work there. I think ideally the Browns would want Corbett to be the guy, but much like Baker, they're not going to rush him into the role. And as of right now, Coleman is the front runner. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. And, of course, you have guys like Donald Stevenson and Rod Johnson on the roster as well. All right, folks, that does it for us. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more NFL coverage. And if you want more coverage, subscribe to us on YouTube at Chat Sports. And until then, we'll see you next time.